Hi everyone. My name is Sarah Thompson, and if you're watching this, you're probably here because you've been through something similar, that gut-wrenching moment when the person you trusted most turns your world upside down. I never thought I'd be telling a story like this. I thought my marriage was solid. I thought my husband loved me. But love can blind you, until the truth hits like a freight train. It all started 3 years ago, right after our second wedding anniversary. I was 29, working as a senior project manager at a tech firm in Seattle. Long hours, good salary, but I had always dreamed of owning a real home, not an apartment, not a condo, but a proper house with a yard, space for kids one day, maybe a garden. My dad, James Thompson, knew that dream better than anyone. He's a retired civil engineer, the kind of man who built things to last: bridges, buildings, and families. On my 30th birthday, Dad surprised me. He'd bought a beautiful 3-bedroom Craftsman-style house in a quiet suburb just outside the city. Not too flashy, but perfect. Hardwood floors, a big kitchen island, a backyard with mature oaks. The deed was in my name only. He told me, "Sarah, this is yours. No strings. You've worked hard. You deserve something that's truly yours." He even paid the down payment in full so I wouldn't have a huge mortgage. My monthly payments were manageable, basically what I'd been paying for rent. I cried when he handed me the keys. My husband, Ethan Carter, was there too. He hugged me, kissed my forehead, and said, "This is amazing, babe. Our first real home." Ethan worked in sales, commission-based, ups and downs, but he always talked about building a future together. At that moment, I believed him. The first few months were blissful. We moved in, painted walls, bought furniture. Ethan helped pick out curtains, planted flowers in the front yard. He even started calling it our house. I loved that. I loved him. But little things started creeping in. It began with his mother, Vivian Carter. Vivian lived about 45 minutes away in a small condo she owned outright. She was 62, widowed for a decade, and had always been intense. She adored Ethan, her only child, and she never hid her opinion that I was too independent or didn't know how to be a proper wife. She'd make comments like, "A woman should let her husband lead the finances," or "You work too much, no wonder you don't have kids yet." I brushed it off. Families have quirks. Then Ethan started spending more time at her place. "Mom's not feeling well," he'd say. "I'm just checking on her." Fair enough. But soon it was every weekend. He'd take my car, a reliable SUV Dad had helped me buy years earlier, because his was in the shop again. One day he came home late, smelling like her lavender perfume, and said, "Mom loved the new house. She wants to see it more." I invited her over. She walked through every room, touching things like she was appraising them. "This is lovely," she said. "But it's so big for just 2 people. When are you going to start a family?" Then she added, almost casually, "Ethan always said he'd take care of me in my old age. This place would be perfect for that." I laughed it off nervously. Ethan changed the subject. Over the next year, things escalated slowly, so slowly I didn't see the pattern until it was too late. Ethan's commissions dipped. He started asking me to cover more bills. "Just temporarily," he'd say. "I'll pay you back when the next big deal closes." I did. I trusted him. Then came the emergency repairs at Vivian's condo. Roof leak, plumbing, new HVAC, thousands of dollars. Ethan would show me invoices, and I'd Venmo him the money from our joint account, which was mostly my salary anyway. He promised to reimburse me. He never did. One evening, I found a strange document in his email while looking for a vacation booking confirmation. It was a preliminary title, "Transfer form for our house." My name was listed as grantor, Vivian as grantee. My signature looked off, like someone had traced it. I confronted him that night. "Ethan, what is this?" He froze. Then he got angry. "You went through my email?" "I was looking for our Airbnb confirmation." "Answer me, why is there a deed transfer with my name on it?" He sighed dramatically. "Mom's condo has black mold. The HOA won't cover it. She has nowhere to go." I was just exploring options. "I wasn't going to do it without talking to you." "But you forged my signature?" "No, it's a draft. I was practicing how it would look." I swear. I didn't believe him, but I wanted to. I loved him. I told myself it was stress. We argued, cried, made up. He promised never to touch anything without me. I should have known better. 6 months later, I got a property tax bill, addressed to Vivian Carter at our house address. My heart stopped. I called the county recorder's office. Ma'am, the deed was transferred 3 months ago. Quitclaim deed. Signed by you and notarized. I never signed anything. They emailed me a scan. There it was, my signature, notarized at a UPS store I'd never been to. Date: while I was at a work conference in Portland. Ethan had done it. I felt sick. I drove straight home. He wasn't there. I called him. Where are you? At Mom's. She needed help moving some boxes. Ethan, the house. You transferred it. Silence. Then, Sarah, listen. Mom had nowhere safe. Mold was making her sick. This was temporary. We'll fix it. Temporary? You stole my house. It's still our home. You live here. Nothing changes. Everything changes. That was my gift from Dad. My security. You had no right. He came home that night. We fought for hours. He cried, said he was sorry, said he felt trapped between me and his mom. She's all I have left of family, he said. You have your dad, your career. She has me. I told him I wanted a divorce. He begged. Promised counseling. Promised to reverse it. I was weak. I stayed. But I started documenting everything: screenshots, emails, bank transfers, the forged deed scan. Meanwhile, Vivian moved in temporarily. Her condo was being remediated. She brought her furniture, her cats, her rules. She rearranged my kitchen, criticized my cooking, told Ethan I was selfish for not understanding. I was miserable. I started sleeping in the guest room. Then came the family dinner, the night everything exploded. My dad had invited us over to his place for Thanksgiving. The whole extended family would be there: aunts, uncles, cousins. Dad loved big gatherings. He'd rented extra tables, hired a caterer. It was supposed to be perfect. I hadn't told Dad the full truth yet. I was ashamed. I thought maybe Ethan would fix it before anyone found out. But 2 days before dinner, I got another shock: a letter from the mortgage company. The house payment was past due. Because the deed was now in Vivian's name, they were addressing notices to her. She hadn't paid because she thought it was her house now and Ethan would handle it. I confronted Ethan again. He admitted he'd told his mom not to worry about payments, that I'd cover them like always. I snapped. I'm telling Dad. Don't, he pleaded. He'll hate me. He should. Dad was quiet for a long time. Then he said, pack a bag, Sarah. Come stay here tonight. Bring copies of everything. I did. I left while Ethan was at work. I took my important documents, clothes, laptop, and every piece of evidence I had. Dad met me at the door. He hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe. You're home now, he said. We'll fix this. He called his old college friend, a top real estate attorney named Margaret Hayes. She came over the next morning. We went through everything: forgery, fraud, possible theft by deception. The quitclaim was invalid because my signature was forged, but it had been recorded, so we needed court action to quiet title back to me. Margaret said, we can file an emergency motion. But first, let's use Thanksgiving. What do you mean? Your family dinner. Everyone will be there, including Ethan and Vivian. We confront them publicly, with evidence. No hiding. Dad nodded. He needs to feel the weight of what he did. I was terrified, but I agreed. Thanksgiving Day arrived. I drove back to my house to pick up Ethan. He was surprised I'd come back. I knew you'd cool off, he said. I smiled thinly. Let's go to Dad's. We arrived. The house was full: laughter, music, smell of turkey. Dad greeted us warmly. Vivian was already there. She'd driven separately. She hugged Ethan, ignored me mostly. Dinner started normally. Plates passed. Toasts made. Then Dad stood up. Everyone, I have something important to say. The room quieted. Today is about family. Loyalty. Trust. But sometimes, trust is broken. He looked at Ethan. Ethan, you've been part of this family for 5 years. We welcomed you, but you've done something unforgivable. Ethan shifted. James, what? Dad held up a folder. Sarah received a house from me as a gift, solely in her name. 3 months ago, it was transferred via forged signature to Vivian Carter. Gasps around the table. Vivian stood. That's not true. Sarah agreed. Dad cut her off. We have the original deed. We have the forged quitclaim. We have the notary who says the ID presented was Ethan's, not Sarah's. Ethan went pale. Dad continued. Moreover, mortgage payments are delinquent because Vivian believes this is now her property. She's living in Sarah's home. Sarah has been paying for everything while her husband betrayed her. Aunt Linda whispered, "Oh my God." Dad turned to Margaret, who stood beside him with a briefcase. This is Margaret Hayes, my attorney. She's prepared an emergency petition to void the transfer and restore title to Sarah. We're also pursuing charges for fraud and forgery. Vivian screamed, "You can't do this. I need that house. My condo is unlivable." Margaret calmly said, "Ms. Carter, public records show your condo is mortgage-free. You have $180,000 in retirement accounts and no active mold remediation order. You've been collecting rent from a tenant in a separate unit, $1,200 per month." Vivian turned red. "That's private." "Not anymore," Margaret said. Ethan looked at me. "Sarah, please. Tell them it's a misunderstanding." I stood up. My voice shook, but I spoke clearly. "I trusted you, Ethan. I loved you. I gave you my heart, my money, my home. And you stole it for your mom. You forged my name. You lied for months. You let her move in and take over. I'm done." I turned to Dad. "I support whatever legal action you take." The room was silent. You could hear the clock ticking. Ethan started crying. "Mom needed help," Dad said softly. "Your mom has resources. What she needed was boundaries. What you needed was a spine." Police weren't called that night. Margaret advised filing formally the next day, but the damage was done. Vivian stormed out, yelling threats about lawsuits. Ethan followed, begging me to talk. I didn't. I filed for divorce the following week. The court voided the transfer within 30 days. Forgery was clear on expert analysis. Title returned to me. Vivian was ordered to vacate immediately. Sheriff enforced it. Ethan lost his job soon after. Word spread in his industry. He moved back with Vivian. Last I heard, they're both bitter, blaming me. I sold the house 6 months later. Too many bad memories. I bought a smaller place in my name only and paid off student loans with the profit. Dad visits often. We garden together now. He says, "You're stronger than you know." And he's right. I lost a husband, but I found myself. If you're watching this and you're in a similar situation, don't wait. Document. Tell someone you trust. Protect yourself. Because real family doesn't steal from you. They protect you. Thanks for listening to my story. If it helped even one person, it was worth it.